Hello, Sean, and all of Sean's cousins and friends that may be watching on the Avi channel. We're back again for some more reading from God's Word out of Genesis and out of Tolkien's book, The Hobbit. So here we're going again. We just had day 3 in the Bible. Now we're going to start day 4. Then God said, "Let there be light in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." So you got 2 lights that you can tell whether it's daylight or nighttime. You can tell as the weeks go by or as the months go by because of what's in the sky, the sun and the moon. And God said, "Let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth." And it was so. And God made the 2 great lights. The greater light to govern the day, which we call the sun, and the lesser light to govern the night. He made the stars also. And God placed them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth, and to govern the day and the night, and separate the night and the day. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, a 4th day. Okay, now we're going to go to the Hobbit and see where we are there. Now, as we last left Bilbo Baggins, we talked about his mother, Belladonna Took, how she was adventurous. But then she got married to a guy named Bungo Baggins. So here's where we pick up. Not that Belladonna Took ever had any adventures after she became Mrs. Bungo Baggins. Bungo, that was Bilbo's father. What an odd name, Bungo. But built the most luxurious hobbit hole for her, and used partly some of her money because she was from a rich family. That was to be found. It was the nicest house that was to be found either under the hill or over the hill or across the water. And there they remain to the end of their days. Still, it is probable that Bilbo, her son, although he looked and behaved exactly like a second edition of his father. How many of you boys look like your daddy? Or how many of you girls look like your mother? That same way with Bilbo and his daddy, Bungo. He looked like a second edition of his solid and comfortable father, but he seems to have gotten something a bit queer or odd in his makeup from the Took side. Something that only waited for a chance to come out. The chance never arrived until Bilbo Baggins was grown up, being about 50 years old or so, and living in a beautiful hobbit house built by his father for his mother, which I've just described for you, until he in fact apparently settled down immovably. By some curious chance one morning, long ago, in the quiet of the world, when there is less noise and more green, I bet it looked like North Carolina, and the hobbits were still numerous and prosperous, and Bilbo Baggins was standing at his door after breakfast, smoking an enormous long wooden pipe that reached down nearly to his woolly toes. Remember, his toes were hairy, and they were neatly brushed too. Then Gandalf came by. Gandalf! If you had heard only a quarter of what I had heard about him, and I've only heard very little of all there is to hear, you would be prepared for any sort of remarkable tale. Tales and adventures sprouted up all over the place wherever he went, in the most extraordinary fashion. He had not been down that way under the hill for ages and ages. Not since his friend, the old Took, died. In fact, and the hobbits almost had forgotten what he looked like. He had been away, over the hill and across the water, on business of his own, since they were all small hobbit boys and hobbit girls, like most of you guys are right now. All that the unsuspected Bilbo saw that morning was an old man and a staff. Probably looked a little bit like what Grandpa Ernie makes. He had a tall, pointed blue hat, a long gray cloak, a silver scarf over which his long white beard hung down below his waist, and immense black boots. "Good morning," said Bilbo, and he meant it. The sun was shining, and the grass was very green, but Gandalf looked at him from under long, bushy eyebrows, and that stuck out further than the brim of a shady hat. That's some long eyebrows. "What do you mean?" he said. "Do you wish me to have a good morning? Or do you mean that it's a good morning whether I want it or not? Or that you feel good this morning? Or that it is a morning to be good on?" All of them at once," said Bilbo. "And a very fine morning for a pipe of tobacco out of doors into the bargain. If you have a pipe about you, sit down and have a fill of mine. There's no hurry. We have all the day before us." That's how hobbits are. They have a lot of leisure time. Then Bilbo sat down on a seat by his door, crossed his legs, and blew out a beautiful gray ring of smoke that sailed up into the air without breaking and floated away over the hill. We're going to stop there for now, but we'll pick it up next time. You guys take care. I love you, Sean. I love all you guys, and thanks for listening. See you next time.